Hi, this is Ed Koehler with Extreme Networks. And as promised, I'm coming to you with the last but by far not least of our remote teleworking solutions. And this is the portable remote branch office and the remote outdoor connectivity kits with ExtremeCloud IQ. As we highlighted in previous videos, the need for remote connectivity has skyrocketed. We have doubled our numbers within the ExtremeCloud experience. We went from about 3 point something petabytes per day, which is equivalent to about 40 years worth of high definition video. And we have now topped 6 petabytes per day, which is roughly about 80 years of high definition video that we're actually supporting on a daily basis. And that is a very massive number. And COVID-19 is basically created an unprecedented impact on how we work. And I'm happy to say that we're able to provide that scale of connectivity and stability for the customers that are using our services. Businesses, schools, they are closing their doors. They're trying to still enable some form of functionality for both the teleworkers and also distance learning type capabilities. And there also may be the need for rather rapid and agile onboarding of new remote offices, temporary or even semi-permanent type of basis, and things like quarantine sites, remote testing, pop-up clinics, things of that nature. Now, it's important to emphasize that Extreme offers multiple cloud managed packages that can help organizations to rapidly deploy these types of services. And that's really what we're going to focus on here today. And I want to emphasize that all of these solutions are infrastructure light. In other words, you don't even have to be a current user of Extreme Networks. You could be a Fabric Connect customer of 10 years, and perhaps you're using the XA for certain remote sites, but you want to extend your capability out to individuals and perhaps give some very, very agile capability for the remote scanning clinics and things of that nature. So we're going to focus with the portable branch kits first, and there are really 4 that we're going to talk about. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide. We'll go through and spend a little bit of time on each of the solutions, going from the smallest to the most comprehensive and largest. Now, the first one is basically a distance learning or teleworking kit called the PBK00A. I'm not going to keep mentioning that. You can read those. But it really is a neat product. It's what we call the AP30 or the Atom. It's a plug-and-play AP. As you can see, it's very space efficient, just plugs into an outlet, connects back to your existing network, and basically you have the ability to not only support enterprise class connectivity, but also layer 2 security with a layer 2 VPN and also a stateful firewall. And I want to emphasize that this is a very economic package. When we say enterprise class connectivity at consumer-based pricing, we're not kidding. And this happens to be the product that I actually run in my office. I actually have 2 buildings in my residence location. One is my house, and then the secondary is an outbuilding where I actually have my office located. And this is actually what I'm using for connectivity there. The second package is a teleworking package that gives a combination of both wired and wireline capability. It also is 802.11ac. Again, enterprise class connectivity for very, very compelling price point. Again, secure layer 2 VPN tunnels, stateful firewall with the addition of PPSK support if desired. Again, cloud managed, simple deployment, basically plug and play deployment of these products. And that's the important thing to realize. All of these solutions require little or no technical expertise in order to deploy. Now we're into some of the more robust kits. There are actually 2 of these. One basically is a single AP deployment with a full SD-WAN router, and then there is another option with 2 APs as well for a larger type of facility. And this is either for a power user type connectivity scenario or for remote site, single AP being a smaller one, 2 APs being a larger one. And you may ask, well, what if I need more APs than just the 2. Well, that's not a problem. These are just curated packages. If you need to have anything customized beyond the curated package, just get a hold of an Extreme representative and we'll be able to customize, or an Extreme partner, and we'll be able to customize the deployment as required. Now, this kind of shows a spectrum of all of our solutions working together, all managed in the cloud through ExtremeCloud IQ, ranging from the larger sites with multiple APs, full SD-WAN router, all the way down to a home office type location with an AP30 and nothing more than a standard cable modem. Notice how all of them are tethering back through secure VPN tunnels and terminating back at a VPN virtual gateway appliance located at the headquarter location. And the headquarter could be a hospital, but it could also be any other type of facility, because this is not necessarily limited to just healthcare. Obviously, it could be used for education, so this could be a school district. It could be, a retail, so this might be headquarter locations for retail where you're making drastic changes towards an e-commerce type strategy in order to keep the brick and mortar preserved. All of this, it can basically be leveraged with these types of deployments. And again, I want to emphasize that they're very, very infrastructure light. Secondary to note, though, is that these are curated packages only. They can be customized. Just talk to your Extreme partner or an Extreme employee, and we'll be able to walk you through how they can be customized. Now I'm going to go on to a secondary set, which is basically the Rapid Outdoor Connectivity Kits, or what we call the ROCs. And this is a really cool solution. It's basically designed for quick, curated response sites that are up and running within a matter of hours. Really no requirement for infrastructure, just the ability to tether back to some location. These are fairly local to the facility in question. So an example would be outflow for patients or scanning within parking lots or otherwise located on the campus. And this basically provides us the ability to overcome some of what is happening here, because some of these facilities are fairly heavy duty and cellular connectivity is sometimes extremely limited, and in the case of steel structures, almost unavailable. So we need to have alternate ways to get the networking reach out to the facility. Now, previous to the branch office kits, there are 4 curated packages that we're going to talk about here. They're basically divided by 2 dichotomies. One is cloud managed versus a locally managed, and then the secondary dichotomy is PoE requirements and perhaps some wireline connectivity requirements out in the branch out facility, or assuming that you already have PoE and can utilize that out in the facilities. So we're going to talk about these specifically. The cloud managed kits, again, the dichotomy of wireless versus wireline extensions for PoE connectivity, and perhaps wireless extension or wireline extensions within the solution. These 2 solutions are basically cloud-based, and we can see that they're basically fairly local to the facility. So we're talking about, a backhaul link, 2.45 in approximately 150 feet. Remember, we're dealing with wireless, so the distance requirements will vary upon conditions and obstructions. So typically parking lots, front campuses, back campuses, things of that nature, where these pop-up facilities are coming up, basically providing the ability to efficiently tether back into the facility in question and back up and being deployed through the cloud of ExtremeCloud IQ. The secondary class is a locally managed remote site connectivity. In here, we're kind of meeting the needs on a more local level. So we have a series, and again, there's a dichotomy where we have PoE requirements and perhaps some extensive wired connectivity requirements out into the actual tent facilities, or the assumption that you already have that or do not need that requirement, one or the other. This is an example of a locally managed. As you can see, it's basically the same type of footprint. We're looking at approximately 150 feet. So again, parking lots, front campus lawns, back campus lawns, so forth, so on. Where these pop-up facilities are happening around the hospitals, this is basically the focus of what this is deployed for. But I want to emphasize that it doesn't have to be a hospital in either the cloud managed scenario or this scenario. It could be breakout tents around a remote clinic, breakout tents around a shopping center store, and perhaps that shopping center store is using the XA switch to tether back into a Fabric Connect based healthcare network. So be flexible in the way you're thinking about how these solutions can be deployed. Remember, they can be deployed individually and be self-standing quite effectively, or they become very, very comprehensive and strong when used in combination with one another. All of this is based on ExtremeCloud IQ Architecture. And we say third generation cloud platform here, but quite frankly, we are well on our way and almost completed to fourth generation. Intelligent resource management, and this is through cluster design. Back-end infrastructure can be independently adjusted as needed, and that allows us to really customize things very, very quickly, and the reason for that is it's a microservices-based architecture. It allows us to use a collection of loosely coupled services and allows us very, very agile development capabilities with the ability to add new solutions and updating on a regular cadence, and then also improved resiliency and scale. Remember, microservices and containerized services, cluster design, all of this can be meshed into a very resilient type of offering in a logical fabric, if you would, within the cloud. The cloud topology basically has two major components: the global data center, where we kind of provide the overall task related to the overall management of the infrastructure itself, and then regional data centers, which perform all of the tasks related to the managing of assigned sets of customer networks within a particular region. Now, I want to emphasize this three-level architecture has been certified from a ISO certification perspective, and that's shown on this slide. We're the only vendor that can make that claim. And to close, folks, this isn't just about Wi-Fi. I hope you get a sense of that in some of the packages that you've seen here that we've talked about. We're talking about becoming the industry's first end-to-end cloud-driven networking enterprise. So we're showing wireless, switching, routing, all feeding up into ExtremeCloud in its various consumable forms, and the ability to leverage common northbound utilities, controls, data sets for next generation true cloud environments. I want to thank you for your time watching this series, and I hope you found it entertaining and also informative. Again, I want to close with be safe, stay healthy, stay active, and above all, remain productive. This is Ed Koehler with Extreme Networks. Until we speak again.